the LG V20 came out 2 years ago, the media-centric smartphone was considered as the most underrated flagship. But with its ever so useful wide-angle camera, prehistoric removable battery, and that ever so sounding good hi-fi quad DAC, the V20 has found its rightful owners that until today, they refuse to let go. How does it hold up 2 years after its release? Stay tuned. This review will cover the good, the bad, and the experience. Starting with the good. That wide-angle camera. Quality might not be on par to 2018's flagships, but capturing more than what a normal lens could see will make you feel attached to it. The same story can be said with the front camera. Although quality is below the acceptable standard, it holds up pretty well for its day-late shots. Then there's the video capability. Offering higher bitrate for better overall video quality, the V20 is still a good on-the-go camera, especially in 4K. And if you have a gimbal, it's unperceivable to a standard full-frame camera. But what's great video when audio is on the low end? Thankfully, the V20 smashes even today's flagships thanks to its high-res audio recording. Speaking of audio, we can never forget that hi-fi DAC. In the mobile spectrum, Bluetooth headphones are still not going to come close to the sound of wired audio. Able to drive up to 600 ohms, the quad DAC is still an exclusive feature on LG phones. Second screen. When you don't have an OLED display, V20's LCD panel has the second screen cut out, providing quick apps, date and time, music control, as well as signature and notification. In terms of phone usage, this has allowed me to work efficiently on other things, preventing me from opening my phone whenever I have the itch to do so. 1440p. While it may not be as color accurate to 2018 standards, playing 1440p videos provides an enjoyable experience thanks to its detailed display. MicroSD card support. In my case, I shoot 4K a lot, which easily eats up its base storage of 64GB. Pop in a microSD card and you just stretch the life of the V20. Design. From the back of things, the V20 isn't a head-turner. However, thanks to its mil-spec build, it's durable than most glass-clad smartphones out there. Though despite that, the V20 easily slips out of my hand. But one often overlooked aspect of the build is its lightweight structure. Switching to the Note 9, it made me realize how convenient having a light phone being operated single-handedly. More often than not, I find myself straining my wrist using the Note 9. Removable battery. Having this prehistoric feature is basically having an insurance. Whatever type of charging habits you have, buying a new battery is always an option here. Getting to 100% charge in an instant is always welcome, and if you're a power user, getting an extended battery like from Zero Lemon is worth it, so long you don't mind the heft that comes with it. And now, the bad. Battery life. No matter what type of battery saving strategy I try, the V20 drains like there's no tomorrow. Continuous video consumption on Wi-Fi can get me up to 3 hours of screen on time, while light use makes it hard to hit the 2-hour mark. The same can be said on standby time. Whether the second screen is turned on or not, it can suck at least 10% charge overnight. Put it on airplane mode and it consumes up to 3% of the charge. Software update. The first smartphone to be released with Nougat, and now one of the last flagships to receive Oreo. Not to mention we are already on Pi version. In other words, it's easily one of the worst smartphones to receive software updates. The experience. Using the V20 for a year, the quad-core Snapdragon 820 can't provide that buttery smooth experience anymore. Spending most of my time on social media and YouTube, delays and lags are noticeable from day-to-day use. Don't get me wrong though, it's still able to provide above average performance with most games running no problem. Just don't expect Fortnite Mobile nor PUBG to run smoothest. Pushing its graphical prowess to its limit will end up in performance throttling. With its meager battery life, I opted to get a Zero Lemon 10,000 mAh extended battery. I was able to squeeze out up to 12 hours of screen on time in a single day under heavy use. While it did make it a power user's device, the performance decrease is noticeable, especially when browsing through Facebook and Twitter. This is due to the lack of heat dissipation inside the rubber enclosure. The screen can get too hot to the touch when playing games and doing video recording. Once the battery has been drained, it requires 4 hours of continuous quick charging to replenish its tank to full. That's screen retention. Believe it or not, the LCD panel of the V20 comes with the issue of screen retention. Compared to burn-in of OLED displays, screen retention is temporary. After using the phone for a month, the issue started to show itself, particularly to the four sides of the screen. After a few weeks, it'll start to affect the entire part of the display, including the second screen. Using a third-party app like Darker Pro helped in mitigating the problem, but at the expense of reduced brightness. Based on forums, changing the kcal values of the phone, which requires root, permanently solves the problem. While tons of users have reported this issue, LG has not been responsive to the matter. Speaking of not being responsive, ever since getting the V20, I've only received one security update. While other models have received the Oreo update, it still hasn't reached my model yet. I can't stress enough how important software updates as these fixes the nooks and crannies of a smartphone. For example, the camera app of the V20 is slow when navigating. As a result, I opted to install a Google Camera APK, providing myself a better image from its HDR process. Do take note that it'll easily consume the battery when using Google's HDR feature. While the V20 has a wider footprint compared to the slim devices of today, I'm still able to use it with one hand. While the Mini View offers easier interaction, this won't let me use it with my LastPass app activated under accessibility setting. To sum it up, while the V20 already shows its age in performance, it still offers features that are hardly found in today's flagship smartphones. Would I still recommend getting a V20 in 2018? Sure thing, if you really like that removable battery and aluminum build. Otherwise, I would recommend getting the V30 instead.